few things to say about Judith C. Hill. I knew her well. But before I do that, I just want to thank the YPOC of Greater Harrisburg for providing this opportunity to honor a great educator of the Harrisburg School District and beyond, my mother, Judith C. Hill. The adopted class program is so perfect because Mom adopted all of her students. To this day, students speak of my mother in glowing terms and tell me she did what she did to them made a difference in their lives, and many times well beyond the classroom. I hear stories about how she's remembered by many as the best teacher she ever had, they ever had. And it's a testament to one of my favorite sayings: those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves.
That's the word.
My family is the definition of the sunshine I speak of, and I have to acknowledge them, and they're extremely supportive and loving participants of this event. My aunt, Georgia Mays, is here. Georgia Mays, Mom's sister. Jessie Fordham, one of my mother's other sisters. James Fountain, may he rest in peace, my mother's only brother. And Marjorie Fountain, my mother's oldest sister, who is also resting in peace. My wonderful family, which includes Barbies, Fountains, and a host of others. They know my mother as Clara, Aunt Judy, Cousin Judith, and she was there for all her students, class members, church members, and community friends, but family was always first. Can the family of Judith Hill please stand? Yeah. It's all the family. I know it's a little, we're getting up there a little taste, but we're here. And we love to see these young folks here. Right. I know you ain't changed in 40 years, girl. But my mother was very generous with her time, and the family was always at the top of the list. And as much as the family members were proud of her, she was even more proud of them. But this event is about Judith Hill, the teacher. Mom was born here in Harrisburg, right around the corner. She lived on Harris Street between 6th and 7th. And she was a 1946 graduate of the old William Penn High School. She graduated with honors and was very involved in student activities. After taking a year off to work, she saved some money and went to Virginia Union University, an HBCU in Richmond, Virginia, on an academic scholarship. She was very involved in student activities there. She pledged Delta Sigma Theta in 1949. Whoa. She used to love telling me stories about riding on the Delta train, which was a special charter that headed from the East Coast to the West Coast, picking up sisters in major cities all along the way to culminate at the 1950 National Convention of the Delta Sigma Theta. So that was a big thing. She always used to like telling me about how she rode the train with Mary McLeod Bethune, founder of Bethune-Cookman College, and Dorothy Height, who I believe is the founder of the National Organization for Women, right? So these were some of her mentors. These were some of the educators of the highest order. And for a black woman in college, during the golden era of HBCUs, you couldn't have asked for a better platform to prepare you for a teaching career and a lifetime of community leadership. Upon graduating, Mom returned to Harrisburg. She taught 3rd grade at the Wickersham Elementary School. I know some students from that class who would always say they had crushes on her. And they were so disappointed when she got married and moved away. My father was from Springfield. They got married. They moved to Springfield. That's where my sister was born. Dad was a chemist. He got offered a job in Canada, where the opportunities were better for blacks in the 50s. That's where I was born. Marriage was tough, and after my parents separated, her life as a single parent began. She taught 7th grade in Canada, in Montreal, for several years, before bringing my sister and I back to the United States in about 1965. And, you know, that's where home and family is so necessary when you're bringing up a family. Mom taught 5th grade at Webster Elementary School. I was in 5th grade at Lincoln Elementary, and when I was in junior high, I would meet fellow students in classes all the way through high school and beyond that will always talk about Mom being their best or favorite teacher. Evangeline Sis Wormsley was in school with me. I believe her brother is here today, Navarro Wormsley. And of course she is, may she rest in peace. She's the one whose name is on the gymnasium, but Mom was one of her mentors who inspired and uplifted her. As the young lady said earlier, during the riots of 1968, it created a situation where calm and reorganization of curriculum were essential, and they were in the process of merging the high schools when white folks started leaving the city and budget cuts occurred. During this period, Mom began working with the school district in a program called Intergroup. It was designed to focus student unrest in a positive direction. She was a liaison between students and the administration, addressing student concerns, which were not just black and white, because there were also issues of uptown and the Hill. You had William Penn and John Harris rivalries. These were tense times in the city. And this was the case nationwide. But in many ways, we're still dealing with these problems. These problems haven't gone away, and it's been 50 years. So, when I look at a program like Adopt a Classroom and what the young people of color are doing here in the greater Harrisburg area, it's so necessary. I'm trying to keep this brief here. Just got a couple.
Take your time.
All right, here we go. We getting there, y'all. I'm gonna write a book about Mom, but y'all give me. I started writing this here. I said, oh, I got to write a book on her. Anyway, once the schools were merged together and Harrisburg High was created in summer 1971, Mom was assigned to John Harris as its dean of students. She wore many hats in this capacity: student advisor, activities coordinator, sometimes disciplining me and my friends when we stepped out of line. And clearly, my man Marlon over here, and Pete, he can testify to that. Well, Mom was always an inspiration for my friends. She was an uplifter. She was a motivator. She always put the students' needs first. And also, as a single mother, she worked nights teaching adult skills at the OIC, which is Opportunities Industrial Center. And they did a lot of good things back then. My sister Michelle and I graduated and went on to college, and that's when Mom stepped up her game. And she went into the political arena then. She was very active in the Methodist Church and the old Republican Party. And don't hate, because right now, we could use some of them old Republicans. And remember, that was the party of Lincoln. So if you're old school, that's who you were with back in the day. Anyway, she worked hard for candidates locally and nationally, and then she was urged to run for city council. Voter registration was her thing, and she would set up tables at football games signing up new voters. In 1979, she became the first black female on city council. She received more votes in that election than any other candidate on the local ballot. And her former students were solid supporters, working hard on her behalf. We were all so proud. I could go on and on about Mom being appointed to the Reagan administration, working on women's affairs, Department of Transportation, being assigned as one of George H.W. Bush's 1,000 points of light. She was elected to the Harrisburg School Board, chairman of the board of the Camp Curtin Y, president of the Central Pennsylvania Council of Churches. Honestly, I don't know how she had all these titles, but let me just say, like James Brown used to say, one of Mom's favorite phrases was, get on up, get into it, get involved, get involved. So in closing, I want to say to Kamika Campbell, all the members of YPOC of Greater Harrisburg, Vera Cornish of the Urban Connection, Gloria Martin Roberts, who loved and admired my mother, and all the generous supporters who are here in support of the Adopt a Class program and this event, on behalf of my sister, Michelle, who worked hard getting her friends together and raising money for this event, even though she can't be here. To my daughter, Ashley, who unfortunately is unable to attend this event. All my wonderful family, some are here, some are not. but all are in agreement that this honor to Mrs. Judith C. Hill is much deserved, so appropriate, and greatly appreciated. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.